Sounds like he's carrying the car a little bit longer through the corner, not using the gas pedal that heavy until he needs to. And really, there's no pressure coming from Jimmy Horton or anybody else, so Danny Johnson can conserve a little bit more at this point.
Danny Johnson has not put a wheel wrong all day here. They've been very good on pit road. The strategy has worked perfectly. It's just a question now, have they run enough caution laps to allow him to make it on fuel? Battling further back, meantime, for 5th and 6th. J.R. Hefner, Billy Decker going at it. There's Decker in the 91 car.
Decker starting to put a hot lunch to things as he wants to get up there and race with the 88 of Hefner. Hefner's been quiet all race long, coming from the 20th position. Got a guaranteed starting spot for the Eckerd 200 by winning a 200-lap race at Lebanon Valley Speedway.
You take a look at the top 10 here, and it's all veterans with the exception of J.R. Hefner, who's been around a while, but you'd sort of consider him a young gun when you stack him up against guys like Decker and Jimmy Horton, and certainly Danny Johnson. And trouble here for the 84 car. Gary Tompkins off the pace.
That's the Honey Auto Parts Red Parker excavating machine, Doug Doolin own ride, and Tompkins having trouble. It looks like he's going to limp around the inside of corner number 2. It looks like get it down off the racetrack into the pit area.
Tough break for Gary Tompkins, who's had a difficult season in that 84 car, but always a contender on the dirt modified tour. He'll head to the pits, the backstretch entrance there, the cinder track. Danny Johnson now, the sun starting to set at Syracuse, and it's very, very dusty. The cinders really flying now as the battle rages for position. Billy Decker's powered his way to 5th. How about it, Mark Kenyon? Can he get to the lead here?
We're down here with Scott Jeffries. Scott, you guys are quietly under the radar here. What's the story? You're the best at this fuel mileage deal.
Well, I mean, I seem to think that we're one of the best at saving fuel, and we got a group of guys in front of us that are trying to go like 10 more laps than us. We're just going to have to ride out and see what happens. I think we've got a good game plan right now, and hopefully it'll work out for us.
You guys are okay, dead okay on fuel. You're not worried about that. How about your tire wear?
Well, I'm still worried on fuel. I mean, it's not a racetrack to conserve fuel, really, and tires are the same boat, so it's going to be close for everybody.
Decker guys playing their cards right to the chest. They know how to win. This could be one for the thumb for these boys.
And Billy Decker is putting pressure on Alan Johnson and Frank Cozy. This is where it is in the point of the race. The steel line from Mark Kenyon, go time.
3rd, 4th, and 5th in play, and can any of these cars close in on the top 2? Danny Johnson made time.
20, and 10 to go.
10 laps to go, and he's got about a 12-car length lead over Horton, who's quicker at the moment.
They're telling Danny to back it off just a little bit, but Horton's catching him.
Jimmy Horton, who knows how to win here. Look at this.
5 off, outside.
Jimmy Horton to the lead.
Can't hear a word you're saying.
Danny Johnson will try to battle back in the 27J, though. Johnson on the outside down the backstretch. Bounces it off the wall and gets back to the lead.
Wow, what a
You're
move.
a man right there, buddy.
Jimmy Horton pulled on him on the front stretch. The doctor does it on the narrowest portion of the speedway down the back straightaway.
You almost wonder if Danny Johnson just didn't know that Jimmy Horton was that close to him. The way Horton drove by, and then there's trouble now on the front straightaway. We've got a car with difficulties. Frank Cozy shredded a right rear tire. Caution again for the 10th time with 9 laps to go.
I'll bet you the Johnson crew is thinking, do we have enough on that right rear tire? Frank Cozy was running 3rd when this tire went down.
And he was one of that group of cars that stopped with about 115 laps to go. Here's the move by Horton.
Look at that. Got a great run on Danny Johnson off of corner number 4 and dive bombs it down to the inside as your race leader.
But Danny Johnson, once he knew that Horton had gotten by him, went right up on the berm, thought he had clipped the wall, and drove back around to retake the point.
For those of you familiar with the backstretch at Syracuse, 690 is 2 miles away. Danny Johnson almost used it to get around Horton for the lead.
Well, they put a new tire on the Cozy 44 and send Frank down and away, but his chances to win are gone. Danny Johnson will be the restart leader when we come back at Syracuse. Welcome back to Syracuse. Just a couple of laps to go to settle things in the Eckerd 200, the 35th running of Super Dirt Week. Let's take a look at how we got to this point. Our race recap. Tim Fuller had the pole, and off the initial start, David Hebert went off of turn 4 and whacked the wall. Some controversy as to whether he might have had some help, possibly from Brett Hearn. Fuller would lead the first 45 laps in the 19 car before having to take a pit stop. On lap 86, Danny Johnson made what could be the decisive stop of the day. Into pit road, they decide not to change right rear tires. They filled him up with fuel and sent it back on the racetrack. Now, Rick Laubach elected to stay out through the halfway mark. He earned the $5,000 halfway leader bonus, but the 5 car would give up the ghost shortly thereafter. Laubach's day was done prematurely here at Syracuse. 70 laps to go. Danny Johnson leading Jimmy Horton and Jimmy Phelps. These 3 are all prime contenders. Danny Johnson's been in control for quite some time, but Phelps had a right rear go away. He got up and brushed the wall, and then a few moments later, Jeff Trombley lost the left rear wheel literally off his 21 car. The tire bounced harmlessly down the front straightaway. 9 laps to go, and Jimmy Horton put a move on Danny Johnson on the front straightaway to take the lead. Perhaps Danny's spotter didn't let him know exactly what the situation was, because on the backstretch, Johnson drove right up on the berm, nearly clipped the wall, and retook the lead from Jimmy Horton. Moments ago, Frank Cozy's right rear tire went away. The 44 car slowing on the outside down into the corner. That brought out our most recent yellow and sets up this restart with just a couple of laps remaining to settle things here at the Moody Mile. Quickly to Mark Kenyon.
Down here in the Johnson pit, tell me about that pass and pass back for the lead.
I don't know. That's a doctor for you. Yeah, and anybody else try to drive like him, they'd be in a wall.
Did he have a problem with the car? Did it pop out of gear or something?
No, it's just he was just trying to lay off the gas and try to conserve some fuel, and Horton got up on him pretty good there pretty fast and caught him off guard. But, you know, this Troy race cars, I got to thank Billy Colton for giving us a hell of a race car there. You know, like I said before, he's a doctor.
Danny Johnson, you got to go some to out-snooker him.
Danny Johnson, outside of a race car, is one of the friendliest, easygoing guys you'll ever meet. But when he's behind the wheel of the 27J, he becomes Danimal.
4 laps to go at Syracuse, and we're back underway. Alan Johnson in the 14 and Billy Decker back there. They run 3rd and 4th. Now, does Horton have anything for the doctor? Heading to the backstretch, $100,000 in the balance.
You know, all those guys in the top 5 know Frank Cozy lost that tire. They've got to be wondering, can Danny Johnson's tires hold up? Can Jimmy Horton's tires hold up? Billy Decker and Alan Johnson want to stay in contention, and that's right where they are, just waiting for something to happen.
And do they have enough fuel? We've seen it happen here. Leaders running out of fuel on the final lap. 3 to go. No change. Johnson, Horton, and Alan Johnson, the top 3.
Danny Johnson looking to make a little bit of history. Only one driver in the history of Super Dirt Week has won both the 358 race and the big block race in the same year. That, of course, was done by Brett Hearn in 1990.
That would be akin to winning a Busch Series race and then a Nextel Cup event on Sunday. Johnson out of turn 4.
2 laps to go. 10 off. 10, 10, 10.
2 to go at Syracuse.
What do you think's going through Danny Johnson's mind right now? Everything. He is listening to that car. He is feeling every little idiosyncrasy of that car right now.
Horton trying to draw a bead on the 27J. He got by him once already. Down into 3. White flag this time by. Danny Johnson nice and smooth on the inside.
Jimmy Horton really pedaling hard.
10, white flag. 10, 10, 10.
1 to go. Battles for 3rd. Danny Johnson by 8 car lengths onto the backstretch.
5, 5, 5, 5.
Jimmy Horton trying to reel him in one more time. Down into 3 they go. Horton kicks her sideways, but Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson will double at Syracuse. Danny Johnson sweeps Super Dirt Week 35. He wins his second Eckerd 200, goes 114 laps on tires and fuel, Mark Kenyon.
Down here in the Johnson pit, you guys pulled it off. A great gutsy call, and you made it work.
Yeah, that's the deal here at Syracuse every year. You got to take a chance. You're not going to win the race. We knew early going in that that's what it was going to take, and you know, Danny and I got together, made that call, and we were sweating early on, man. I tell you, I didn't think we were going to make. I thought we were going to run out about 10 laps to go. I got to thank Dave Thompson, the car owner. He brought me up here from North Carolina, put us together, a hell of a race team. These guys are great.
A lot of emotion down here in the Danny Johnson pit. We'll head over to Victory Lane where there's going to be an elated Danny Johnson. The only driver that ever swept both races, Brett Hearn. Now Danny Johnson puts his name in there.
Syracuse so full of emotion, you could hear it in Mike Burdick's voice. He left MB2 Racing to come up here and work with the doctor.
Danny Johnson with a winning move on the backstretch. Jimmy Horton had passed him for the lead. Same lap, the doctor took the lead back.
Rush Hour on Dirt is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. We're ready in advance. Eckerd Pharmacy. You'll like what we do for you.
Danny Johnson becomes the 9th dirt modified driver to win more than one Eckerd 200s in his career. In Victory Lane now, Mark Kenyon.
Here he comes, Danny Johnson, crawling out of the 27J Troyer race car. Sweep of the weekend. He won yesterday, again today. Danny Johnson sweeps Super Dirt Week. And this is a huge win for them. This guy has gone through some ups and downs, been through some different rides, just put this deal together. And they love Danny Johnson here. The crew is jubilant. Troyer Race Cars just puts a Troyer back in Victory Lane in Syracuse, and it's been a little while. I know Billy Colton's going to be happy with this. Let's get a word in here with him. Danny, talk to me, Danny. We talked 2 days in a row. It was an unbelievable race, the fuel mileage where you're holding your breath. I heard at one point you told the crew on the radio it's in the bank.
No, never in the bank. Unbelievable. That's all I know. I've gone 113 laps here before with a full tank and ran out. And I think we went 114 today.
Yes, you did.
So it's just a chance we had to take. We took it. It was a great weather day, so I thought that really helped the mileage too. So just hats off to the great race car and a great crew.
Tell me about that pass back there with Horton. You lost the lead and got it right back. Tell me about that, because that had everybody on the edge of their seat.
Well, I thought their crew was telling me I had like 15 lead, and they must have been saying 5, I guess. I'm not sure, but he caught me sleeping. I mean, we had poor radio communications, and it cost us the lead there momentarily, but luckily I got it right back.
What does this mean to you and more to Billy Colton to put a Troyer car in Victory Lane here at Syracuse?
I think it's a great victory for Billy. It's for me myself. I almost can't fathom it myself. It's just incredible. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. I mean, I got to thank Dave Thompson for giving me the ride here in the car, and it's just a superb opportunity. He's got a lot of good people around him.
Let me give you another stat. You're the only driver other than Brett Hearn to ever sweep both races here at the mile.
Man, it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Well, I'll let you go. Danny, where are you going from here?
We're going to go to Eckerd's.
Danny Johnson, in a span of 8 days, has won 3 of the 4 biggest dirt races of the year. The Victoria 200, the 358 race here at Dirt Week, and now the Eckerd 200, $140,000.
Great run for the doctor, who started in the 5th row today, wins the Eckerd 200 at Syracuse. Horton gets second. Now Danny's brother Alan bags the Mr. Dirt Big Block title by finishing 3rd.
Pole sitter Tim Fuller finishes 7th. Bobby Varon comes home 11th after troubles early on.
Wayne Jelly, Kenny Tremont, Justin Hares, and Ryan go down. There's Bright Bill in 16th, and Frank Cozy, after that tire failure, ends up 20th. Jack Johnson gets 21st.
Gary Tompkins credited with 24th. Rookie of the race, Chad Phelps, in 25th. Jeff Hetzler finishes 30th, 1 spot behind Brett Hearn.
Halfway leader Rick Laubach left the race shortly thereafter. He gets credit for 31st in front of Alton Palmer, Billy Dunn. Andy Bicchetti had tire problems.
Jessica Zemkin, the first woman to start, finishes in position number 40.
Mick Coffey had troubles early, as did Pete Bicknell, Jeff Brownell. Pat O'Brien started at the back and finished there. David Hebert went out before 1 lap was complete. A thrilling ride for Danny Johnson, but it had to be a frustrating outcome for Jimmy Horton, who runs second. He's with Andy.
Jimmy Horton, you won this race in 1987 and 1994. Almost again, just a little short.
Yeah, we had him where we want him. I I fell asleep off too. I just trying to save fuel, and I should have got away from him. And the race was ours. We had a better race car, and we're just trying to save fuel. And like I said, I played all my cards right. I just fell asleep.
Talk us through that incredible lap where the two of you swapped the lead twice in 1 lap.
Yeah, I wish it was the other way around, but like I said, that was our game plan, to try to lull them asleep. It worked, and then I fell asleep.
Reminiscent of 1988, Jimmy Horton leading with only a handful of laps remaining.